Xiaomi, the king of making you feel like you bought a steal of a deal. Can this bright colored budget phone make a case as your daily driver? Oh, and by the way, it costs less than $200. I'm Alex with Tech, and this is our full review of the Redmi 5 Plus. The first couple of things you'll probably notice about the Redmi 5 Plus is the elongated screen, which we'll talk about soon. But if you turn it around, you'll feel the aluminium body with slight hints of plastics that encases this phone's Snapdragon 625 processor along with 4GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. When you consider the fact that this combination can be purchased for just $194, you can't really help but feel impressed. The Redmi 5 Plus runs Xiaomi Skin, which is app drawerless and has a substantial amount of aesthetic alterations in the quick settings and the settings menu. This version of MIUI is still stuck on Android Nougat, but Nougat has been a very stable experience, and I'm optimistic we'll get Oreo here soon. Regardless of that, you can still throw on a launcher of your liking and use this affordable and valuable hardware. There is a fingerprint scanner on the back of the phone with enough distance away from the camera. It is very responsive and quick to unlock. I like the fingerprint scanner on this budget phone. It's just missing some fingerprint gestures. So the hardware feels solid, especially for the price. But I was more surprised that the performance was much better than I expected, especially coming from a similar phone in the Honor 7X. I actually swapped out my SIM from the 7X to this phone halfway through my trip in Hong Kong. The Redmi 5 Plus is not a flagship phone, no matter how much it overperforms its price tag. That much is certain. But it is smooth navigating through Android, apps open at a respectable pace, and it handles all the games and performance aspects I demand from any phone I use on the daily. And as I've said before in budget phone reviews, it's basically become my tagline now. If a budget phone can make you forget that you aren't using a $700 phone, then it's not only a good budget phone, it's just a good phone. And another aspect of the Redmi 5 Plus that is not only good for a budget phone, but good overall is its display. Yes, like everyone else, Xiaomi stretched it out to an 18:9 aspect ratio. This combined with their near 6-inch IPS screen using a full 1080p resolution, and I've come to enjoy consuming media here with this particular phone. You're not getting super punchy colors of an AMOLED panel, nor are you getting the sharpness of a Quad HD display, but if you didn't tell me the specs, I wouldn't even consider this a budget quality. Heck, the fact that I'm getting a 1080p panel at all for $194 is more than I can say for many phones out there even in 2018. The single bottom firing speaker gets loud and does its job for media purposes, but nothing too special here.
Exhale all the way back down. Great, frame your right foot.
Oh, and did I mention it has a 3.5mm audio jack? I know how much people love that jack. Those have ironically become budget ports now. It's nice to have it here along with something that I haven't had on a phone in a while. An IR blaster. Yep. Located on the same side of the headphone jack is the little blaster, which is still kinda popular in Asia, but has since vanished from Western devices. One great thing about this Redmi 5 Plus is that it has Band 4. This global version has Band 4, and that means it works on T-Mobile. I do get LTE speeds here in Southern California, and that's a terrific thing. Most of the places that I go to, or most of the places I travel to, I was able to get LTE speeds. The 5 Plus charges using a micro USB cable, which once again is segregated to a budget classification now. Fortunately, the gigantic 4000 mAh battery shatters basically all flagship specs. 7.5 hours of screen on time on an 18-hour day. Those are superb stats there. I suspect most of the casual users can squeeze multiple days off of this charge. And finally, the camera. The 5 Plus doesn't sport dual cameras like that on its competitor, the Honor 7X. Instead, we have a single 12-megapixel rear camera that is capable of 4K video.
Try to get every area possible.
Here's the tricky part about this thing. It's quite easy to get a soft focus shot using autofocus. Low light is an unprecedented disaster on the 5 Plus. It struggles mightily to recognize the subject and to pick up any sort of light. But when you attempt a landscape shot with optimal source lighting, it can give you sharp, well-toned results. The 5 megapixel front camera is decent, but over-processes and sharpens the photos, making it much grainier than needed. This is a common thing on budget Chinese phones that we've seen. But other than that camera snag-fu, I really can't say this phone matches its price point, and that's a great thing. The important aspects to me in daily use is performance of apps and the smooth interaction with the operating system. And the Redmi 5 Plus does the job pretty well. Oh yeah, and the back, home, and recent app navigation are on the right sides, unlike the Mi A1. The 5 Plus is the right size with the right processor and RAM to warrant the extra cost over its similar sibling, the Redmi 5. In this sub $200 category, I do think this is one of, if not at the top of my list for best $200 phone. Really good phone. Once again, I'm Alex with Hypno Tech. Be sure to subscribe because we have more $200 phone battles. Lita is doing a camera comparison between this and the Honor 7X, so be sure to come back for that. And we also have a bunch of other ones like the Mi A1, and we're also taking a look at the Blue Vivo X. There's a lot of great stuff coming up. So we'll see you guys very soon.
If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, hit the bell button below so that you don't miss a single video in the future. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!